Well, it would appear that I have been terribly lackluster in continuing to provide content for you shortly after I teased you with this wonderful thing, but I figured it was probably time for me to film System Test 1. So, it's been quite a while since June when I unboxed this wonderful MS-5UD, and I have not yet released a video regarding it. As far as system tests go, I released the video in which I unboxed it, set it up, tested it, and then got it all mounted to the system, but never did anything thereafter. You saw a quick preview in my impromptu power outage video where I showed some of the devices that were on the system, but I never really actually showed you the system. And of course, the date and time are off, given that there are no batteries inside of this system. It's really just a bunch of extra things that I need. I hardly ever power this thing on, and it's going through a bunch of troubles considering my lack of resistors as well as a lack of batteries. Also, I never did order the terminal blocks yet, so that's why some things are not able to function yet. Like, I can't put a resistor on zone 5 even if I wanted to. I don't have a terminal block for it, so that's something to work towards there. But nonetheless, I will go ahead and make up for my preoccupation and get you a system test going. So, of course, we start off at the panel here. I've learned that the can is dented slightly, so closing it has been a little bit of a pain. I won't need the keys for this test, but I did put them on a nice lanyard here, so they're nice and easy to carry around. I will explain my preoccupation a little bit. Hopefully these in a future system test will make up for my being so busy, but I have been terribly busy between being a college student as well as my part-time job, so that really hasn't allowed me any time at all to mess with any of this. So as the college semester winds down, I do intend upon playing with my collection a little more, but I finally decided that since it's the week before finals, instead of actually doing the work I should be, it's probably time to do a system test, so we'll go ahead and take this opportunity to do so. Now, the system I have set up today is a little bit unique. It was one that I grew up with in the credit union that I am a member of still. That's where I keep my finances. And when they replaced their alarm system, I held on to most of the devices at their wonderful donation. So that was one of the first of several black trash bags of alarms I received from various locations. But I have kept these devices, and now that I finally have a system to simulate exactly how they would have run in real life, I'm finally prepared to combine them together. So, the pull stations in this credit union were Pyrotronics MS-151s. They had several of these. I own 3 of them, so I think I have most of them, if not all, but there they are. So we have those for the pull stations in both the hall and the bedroom here. And coming up along here, they had Gentex GX90 S4Ws. I believe that's the correct model number of this horn strobe. But they had these, and the original Pyrotronic CP400 panel, which I do have the parts to, except for the motherboard, so that's why I've never used it. It was coded to March time. It had a jumper that you could cut inside between continuous and March time. I don't believe temporal was ever an option, so these are, of course, set to March time. And as is the case with the hallway. So both those alarms are identical. And I'm not sure. Down there is the junction box. I don't know. I showed that to you in the video, so it should make sense there. But we're going to go ahead and pull this for the first time in forever. I'm not sure how the system's going to react. I'm not sure how I'm going to react, so we'll see what happens. So that's March time for the very first time on any of my systems. And of course I kept audible silence. NACs 1 and 3 are set to non-silenceable continuous at this time. So strobes are on NACs 1 and 3, horns are on NACs 2 and 4. This one is 1 and 2, the one in the hall is 3 and 4, so that way I can kind of independently control them. But as you can see, it does display an alarm there. Yeah, it's a little bit chewed up from demolition, but it is what it is. And I don't need keys for this reset here. I need to get one of my Allen wrenches here. The power supply, for some reason, on the NACs here makes that buzzing noise with the current draw of the GX90s. It doesn't do it with any other strobe, so I'm not sure what that is, but it seems to be relatively harmless. And now, usually what's supposed to happen on these is these stations, when you turn this, it's supposed to pop right back up. But for whatever reason, these particular ones don't do that, so they don't reset the switch, really. I'm not entirely sure why. This is very cumbersome with one hand. Oh, that's awesome. So let me put this back. I think I've got it. Yeah, that looks like it's back on. Alright, well let's go ahead and do a re-alarm, since now I can do that on the system. Re-alarm is an actual thing. So, once again, another MS-5UD out here. Nothing special. So, let's go ahead and pull it here. Those seem to get increasingly loud as they keep pulsing. I'm not entirely sure why. Either it's my hearing or it's the alarm's actually getting louder as they build up power within their circuitry. So I'm not entirely sure why, but it's an interesting little tidbit that I never noticed. So let's go ahead and do a reset. As you can see, we've got an alarm on zone 1, bedroom pull station. Let's see. Alarm on zone 2, hallway pull station. All the various troubles in the silencing system, as well as NAC 2 silence, NAC 4, which those are the 2 horn NACs there. There we go. So I think after this, we're going to go ahead and put it into code 3 here. So NAC 2, the coding is that. And let's set NAC 4. The coding goes down temporal, and then we'll escape. And yes, I know it's the default code. I do have the programming cable, but since I don't keep the panel powered on and it's really just a demonstration system, there's no need for me to really put on any other code. I'm not trying to keep someone out from programming it, so it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and do a manual leadback this time, so that way you can kind of see that feature, since this is the first time I'm showcasing the panel, so we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll follow what it says and hold it for 2 seconds. Now, I'm not entirely sure why the GX90s still chirp when they get powered off, but it is what it is. We'll come back. Let's see. Yeah, you can hear the faint cry as they finish. Let's see, NAC 4. We'll set the coding back to March time. Okay, I did that right. I did that right. We'll go ahead and do a quick reset. Oh, that's much more pleasant. Can't believe how shredded your ears can become from this wonderful panel in combination with the GX90s. But that's about it for this system test. I apologize if it was terribly out of focus. I was more worried about this than the focus on the video. So that about wraps it up for this system test. I do sincerely apologize for my lack of content production. Like I hinted at earlier in the video, there's some new equipment coming in that I believe will certainly feed your hunger for new video content, especially as my semester comes to a close and I've got more time to produce videos. So I hope you guys stick around for that, and that'll be it for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.